Woody had gone right to the police, this would never have happened.
Uh-oh.
So, the art lift is being taken like, there's going to be an increased amount of shit talk.
Oh, I have to remind myself I'm here willingly.
Catch one with a little bit of attitude, big guy?
Man, you champion son.
Well, it's a kangaroo court.
What do you mean how is the NFL a kangaroo court?
Could you please let me explain why?
No, I don't want to hear this garbage. Give me an answer to the questions I asked you.
What the fuck are we doing?
Come on with it, baby!
That's fine.
Italian. I'll talk to you later.
I'm a psycho. Let's get to the thing. All right. My undercarriage is sweating. For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollo's, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs. All right, and thank you to all of our sponsors. Welcome to another edition of the Third Manageable Podcast. I am one of the hosts, Matt Diegert. You can find me on Twitter and all of my other things at Matt Diegert. And as always, I'm joined by Student Body Right.
yeah,
As you can see, he's napping on the podcast tonight.
dude, this is my Saturday, bro. Leave me the fuck alone. What's up, guys? Student Body Right here. I'd like to thank for the intro, Matt Diegert. You can find me at studentbodyrght.com. Join us on Thursday for our annual draft night show. We got quite the lineup. Maddie, if you want to impart on some of the guys that are going to be there, we got Mr. Pat Moran.
We got Pat Moran. We got Ryan Talbot. We got Be Cool Fool. We got
Thigh Doctor.
John Helmkamp, live from the draft itself.
Yeah, that's going to be actually a good one. I like that.
Do Don from the Do Champions Network.
New York Jet Mike.
The Almighty Whittle.
Love that guy. He's great.
And many more. Ryan Talbot, definitely going to be a good night to join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a long show for us, about 4 hours, but
especially as we get better and better at foosball, we have to wait longer and longer to hear our pick. And we put a lot of research into this stuff. We put a lot of hours into this stuff. It's kind of cool how it becomes such an open slate of need in the beginning. And then you kind of, Matt, you kind of root for guys. Like you have the pick that you want. And for some reason, if that doesn't happen, I think this is Twitter's most critical night of every team. I was watching a video recently of the 5, buffoons in the Polish patio in Cheektowaga. Sorry, that wasn't a slight where you live, but the 5 buffoons that are they're just and the 7th pick, the Bills select Josh Allen, quarterback, Wyoming. And they're like, no. I'll be honest. I wanted Josh Rosen. I also wanted to give Rex Ryan another year. So thank you to their sponsors.
Yeah. Fat fingered it.
Yeah. So who did you want that year?
I honestly thought Josh Allen was going to be gone. I thought Cleveland wasn't going to Cleveland. I thought Josh Allen was the best quarterback in the NFL or in the draft that year, followed by Baker Mayfield. I had Sam Darnold last out of the 4. I wanted the Bills to be able to take Lamar Jackson there. He clearly went to Baltimore, is right up there with Josh Allen. He's got 2 MVPs. Josh Allen has 1. Neither have a Super Bowl. But at this point right now, I'm was super ecstatic when Josh fell a little bit from my rankings down from 1 to 7, and we were able to take him. I was so happy because like I said, I think we got the best quarterback in the draft that year.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, is there any hockey on that night? Because what are you doing if you're a current player on that night? You're throwing a hockey game, you don't really care about who your new teammates are because you got days and days and days of this, and you're not going to meet them for a couple months. What are you doing if you're? I guess we should have asked Alec Anderson that.
I mean,
he's cooking right now, by the way.
I don't know. Like honestly, if it was me personally, I'd be trying to see who is coming in, if it's any competition to myself.
That's a good element actually.
But other than that, it's just life is normal for a player. I would think,
right?
If it's going to be somebody that's playing next to you, like if the Bills select Kenneth Grant 20 or at 30, and he's going to be next to Ed Oliver, I would be on the phone with him, right away to, try and start building that camaraderie, start building the, everything you could need.
Yeah. I mean, that jet is ready to pick up that player and drop him off at, Buffalo Niagara International. He'll be there on Friday morning, typically.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah, typically.
So with this year, we got a huge initiative as every year. A shout out Aaron Williams. Last year, he announced our pick. Supposed to be, it was night one. As we know, we traded that to the Chiefs, and it ended up being a night 2 pick. But I'm looking at this list of current informed players. They're announcing draft picks this year. How many from the University of Wisconsin? Including the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, you can't ask me that.
How many from the
I know
University?
the answer.
What's how many?
11.
13.
Really?
13. Ours announcing our pick, Mr. Lee Evans. Yep. Lee Evans, a University.
And he should be able to be alumni. Announcing 2 because we have 2 picks in the second round, basically right back, almost back to back at 56 and 62. And we don't have a third round pick. So at this point right now.
Yeah, I mean, Lee Evans, he was a first round pick, 2004. What was Awell? Awell was a first round pick, wasn't he?
Second or third. I'd have to go look it up, but I'm 95% sure he was a second or third round pick.
I mean, when he told us that he was announcing that draft pick, Matt, I was never more excited. And then a couple days, or I guess a couple weeks later, he's at the bocce tournament. He's just like, yeah, shit was dope. I was like, yeah, it was. And then I lost him. So anyway, speaking of that bocce tournament, June 22nd, Soleil Beach Club.
Second round, just so you are aware. He was picked
second round, 8th pick, or like the 8th pick of the second round. I guess that would be what, 40th?
Let me see here. That's what I'm looking up right now. It doesn't have it here, so
yeah, you're putting me to sleep, bud.
Yeah,
right,
sorry.
You finish it out. Anyway, June 22nd, Soleil Beach Club player passes are sold out, but we still have social passes available. $40 all you can eat, drink at the bar. Sponsored by Rachel's Ilio DePaulo's Sons of Erie and the Ilio DePaulo Scholarship Fund. Matt, as we go into this, we know we've gotten some high value after the draft. We've gotten guys like Ryan Vandermark. We've gotten guys like Alec Anderson. I really do enjoy, not so much the first round. I hate day 2 of the draft. I hate it because it has like kind of that junior varsity production feel. You know what I mean? They're trying to, there's not as many eyeballs as the first night of the draft. There's more,
right. They're trying to,
there's more like live bands and there's like,
they're trying to recreate the first round of the draft with 4 of those guys for the second and third, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah. They're doing like the live bands and they still have elements of that. Day 2 is my least favorite. And I absolutely love after the 5th and 6th round, seeing some of these FCS guys, seeing some of these non-power 5 guys, and you get the small family thing. You don't get that like that high value, like, the Givenchy suit and all that.
Right.
You just get like corn-fed, like our boy here, Spencer Brown, that corn-fed, like everybody's at home eating comfort foods. They've all been like just sitting on the couch. It was really cool when Alec Anderson was telling us about how he was just getting drunk with the fam. He's like, yeah, there was a fire truck there. I'm like, how'd you get a fire truck? Family friend. Like,
thanks, guy.
Of course. Yeah, like that's your UDFA fucking present. Somebody rolled up in a fucking 18-wheel fire truck. So with the NFL draft coming, we will pivot to Matt, the dream pick, as well as the decisive pick. We're going to do this segment, the dream pick versus the decisive pick. Who, if you had your druthers, would be your dream pick for this NFL? And on the other side of the coin, who do you think the Buffalo Bills decision will be? This segment is sponsored by Ilio DePaulo's for all your Italian needs. Call 716-825-3675, an Italian institution since 1963. Matt, We'll start with you. Who is your dream pick?
Mine is the same.
The dream and the decision are the same.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to spin it two ways on you.
It's Trey Amos.
Trey Amos, the man out of Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Well, it's the University of Mississippi if you want to get technical dick bag, but the Running Rebels. I love that powder blue helmet they have, and he made it
and
look
the powder blue jersey.
Made it look good this year. And Matt, you watch a lot of film, you do a lot of analytics, you have a lot of conversations with people in the know that have both seen him at the Superlative Bowl games he played in, that followed him for 4 years. He played major Saturday Down South SEC football. What stands out to you that makes Trey Amos your far and away best pick or dream pick for us? Because you were on it early, lad, weren't you?
Yeah. I put out the video earlier this week from when Whittle and I did our initial mock draft. Our initial mock draft early at right 2 days after the Bills had lost. So I mean it was still pretty fresh, but he comes up and he helps in run support is something the Bills need from their cornerbacks. He is one of the smartest cornerbacks in the draft. He has a lot of hockey, we're watching hockey, a lot of football sense. So I think that and he's a ball hawk. He finds the ball and goes and gets it. I mean, and the other thing is he doesn't drop it when it comes to him.
He's a big cat, man. He is a big cat. Trey Amos with his combine measurements measured in at a nice 6'3", 6'1", that 6'1" range, 195, which is I think a very playable weight with an arm length of 31.25 inches and a hand size of 9. It's a good one. Mm-hmm. Some of the better things I did: a broad of 10.6, bench press 13 reps. I mean, that's a decent strength for that position group.
I mean, we had Kentley Platty on 2 weeks ago or last week. I think it was last week. Know. Yeah, but I mean, you could see it right on the screen right now. He's got 31.25.
It's a high res.
Arm lengths 8.375 res, and you can see from his splits, he's all in great territory from an athletic standpoint in that. So I mean, it gives him a lot of that makeup speed. So if he does take chance
out of the shuttle speed of 4.43, I completely agree with you, man. So you're saying this is your dream pick and as your decisive pick, Matty. Yeah. Does this put this draft as something that you're really, really looking forward to, or did Xavier Legette kind of that was like last year's wind out of the sails moment, so you don't want to hype yourself up too much?
No, and I've kind of taken it this year a little bit of a different approach.
Yeah, please do, because if we can explain what happened to you last year.
We're going to leave that alone.
Okay, we'll just say this. You went from 0 to 100 real quick, as the kids say.
But no, I mean... and it's not even that, but I mean,
no, it was that. Go ahead. Your 40 speed last year from, if I may, sober to inconsolably slurring your words. What are the Bills doing? It was art. It was performative art.
Well, and it wasn't even just that. It was everything. It was
everything you needed.
Nothing you don't.
Yeah,
but it was everything truly at the end of the first round. To be honest with you,
how it went down.
Not only that, but like you had them trade with the Chiefs and pick up Xavier Worthy.
That still hurt?
No.
I don't think that matters.
It doesn't matter. Like, trade with whoever you want, but it was just like, why are you helping another team that just won the Super Bowl? Just is continuing, just beat you in the AFC or in the divisional round, and it's just I was just like, what are you doing? Like, and then I saw the return. I was like, okay, I get it. You got a 3rd round pick to drop down 4 spots. Okay, you have both.
Good. It's decent value.
You have.
What do I know? But that's decent value in all the drafts I've watched, and I've watched probably 30 of them.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about that is listening to your commentary about this, because we're out of the age of who the hell is Mel Kiper. You know, he's not like old Dracula face isn't like, you know, he's not the stalwart and the aficionado. You have guys like Kenley Platty, John, Ryan, and this real local flavor that are really tapped into what we need, as well as seeing the maturation of every draft pick we have. To just tie yourself and tether yourself just to Mel Kiper's information like in years past was crazy, because that is a massive undertaking to know something like 400 players and every team, all NFL 32 teams situations and their dire needs. And I'm just so glad we're joining the age of why are you laying down? Did speaking in Madden last night really hurt you? No, but reading that comment did hurt my eyes. Pat, thanks for the comment. Please do not do that again. Anyway, back to my diatribe. It's just nice that there is people on the beat and people that invest just as much time on reporting and the in-season stuff, the off-season stuff, as well as the new pipeline of players that we're going to have on this roster. This game is 0-0 first.
It's going to be a very good game, very good series, honestly. I mean, you know, Brian and I touched on it this morning on Hockey Hotline with the playoff
we're speaking about Colorado Dallas. If anybody's listening to this when it releases on Sunday morning.
Yeah. Colorado Dallas is going to be a great series. I have it going 6. Personally, I have it going 6. We put both Brian and I put our mock playoff brackets out this morning or this afternoon, and I have Colorado winning the Stanley Cup this year, especially with Gabe Landeskog coming back. I mean,
really
out a year and a half and coming back, that's going to give them a shot in the arm if they can get past Dallas.
Speaking of people coming back, there is a very prolific cornerback out of Eastern Carolina University coming off an ACL injury. They're saying that he should be good to go. It's been talked about a lot, injuries going into it. I think John and Kenley nailed it the most. People are drafting for what they perceive these prospects, what they can be.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you at with such like a common injury in the ACL, as we see lower body extremity injuries, unfortunately, on the rise? Where do you place him going? Because he's undoubtedly one of the finest athletes in the NFL draft, right up there with Travis Hunter, I believe, athletic wise. But he's dealing with, you know, that medical, that he is coming off an ACL, which is not an insurmountable task. But where do you see him landing? And do you think it's gonna with that group and so many strong cornerbacks in this group, do you think that is a position group to keep an eye on, there being a run on?
Mm-hmm. And as everybody can see on the screen, obviously he didn't do any of the athletic side of the testing, clearly because of the ACL tear.
Clearly.
But I mean, his hand size, he's 9 3/4 hands.
It's a big cat paw. Big cat paw.
32.63 arm length is pretty lengthy for a quarterback or cornerback. He's also almost 6'2", and he's almost 200 pounds as a corner. Right. I mean, that's so about this kid. I had him without the ACL tear. Number 1 ahead of Travis Hunter.
You had him number 1.
Number 1 ahead of Travis Hunter.
I would slate him as a top 5. Currently, right now, where do you think he his drop lands? In what bucket?
With the ACL tear, I actually have him ranked 4th. I have Hunter. I have
overall.
No.
Jeez Louise.
With cornerbacks. With like my rankings of cornerbacks.
I almost sat up there.
I have Travis Hunter, obviously. Jahdae Barron. And then Trey Amos, and then Revel, and then Will Johnson.
So back to my original question, Matt, you named pretty easily all of those cornerbacks that you've done so much research on. This is my position group that I see that if Travis Hunter is already a foregone, it's already foregone that he is going to be. We'll put him in the cornerback group. So we don't really need to loop him in with that, because there is the duality of him playing wide receiver, or just being as close to what I thought Jabril Peppers would be out of the University of Michigan when he went to, I believe, the Browns. Did the Browns select Jabril Peppers?
I'd have to look that up, but I think so.
Yeah. I really thought he was going to be that. I thought the first iteration of it was a Devin Hester out of the University of Miami. He played that. He could play a scat back. He could play a wildcat. He was also a tremendous kick returner and safety. He could also play a little corner. And he did all those things in the NFL. I thought the next iteration the next usurping of the throne of that kind of abstract mold was going to be Jabril Peppers. And I think Travis Hunter potentially could be the best of the three. And that sounds crazy with how well Devin Hester did. It's just, I think the game is a little bit different this year, that there's less special teamwork just by nature of the kickoffs, by nature of how fast and how,
well, it almost
the
feels,
built-in rules of punt returns and how you're seeing less punts in the NFL. I think Jabril Peppers of the three, I know Devin Hester is a gold jacket. I think Jabril Peppers will, I'm sorry, Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter will be the best of the three, but that predicated that we'll call Travis Hunter a corner. I think if you start seeing two go, you're going to see two go very quickly right after that. I think that is the position group to look at a run on. If not corners, what is the position group that you think there also could be a run on?
Defensive line,
defensive tackle, interior specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have my phone on me because I have the rankings over there for myself. But I think I have Mason Graham first. I want to say Walter Nolan second. I have to get up and look at it, but I mean, with neither here or there. So I mean, I just really, I think this is a very, very deep defensive tackle draft.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Bills.
I don't think you can go wrong with a defensive tackle.
And that's the thing that we asked like Alex Brasky or Kentley Platty or any of those guys that we've had on since the we started our draft coverage. Yeah, if you have a choice between like defensive tackle or defensive line, or I'm sorry, defensive tackle or cornerback,
mm-hmm.
which are you going with? I think that Brasky said a defensive tackle. Ryan said Maxwell Harrison. He loves him. But I think that you're better off because the draft this year for cornerbacks is so top heavy.
Yeah. Explain what you mean by top heavy.
So you're probably first 7 or 8 guys can be in the first 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else after that should not
that's kind of where we were with wide receivers last year.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what put us in the position to trade with the Chiefs and acquire an additional 3rd round pick, is because I think we had equal grades. I don't know. I'm not in the front office. I don't pretend to know. Well, I do, but I don't pretend to know more than I do. But I think they had an equal, possibly, maybe this information is out there by some scientist in the Bills insider chat or something like that. But I think that's kind of adds to their willingness to pick up that 3rd round pick. When we had such a top heavy draft, is that going to make you upset that if we possibly trade? I think it's much more likely that we stay put or move up than trade back this year. But
I actually think it's the other way around. I think that if they're going to do anything, I think it's they're going to potentially see somebody go off the board and potentially look to trade back with I would think they're finally going to get that trade done with the Giants.
Yeah, right.
But no, I mean, if the Giants miss out on a quarterback in the beginning of the draft,
dude, what's more likely? Us tethering ourselves, like resetting the wheel and tethering ourselves now to the Giants versus the Panthers.
But what I'm saying though, in all reality is that's a type of the team that you may look to trade down with, that quarterback needy team that potentially is going to not take a Shedeur Sanders at the top of the draft, or miss out on him if Cleveland takes him. And what they're going to do is they're going to need to trade back into the back end of the first and either take Jackson Dart, or they're going to need to take a Jalen Milroe. But they did sign 2 guys, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, to
J-Boo wins.
2 contracts this year. And I think that if they do end up taking like a Jalen Milroe or a Jackson Dart, he's going to be able to sit behind while Russell Wilson potentially, helps to keep Dable in a job.
I mean, there was a lot of speculation that Dable didn't have as much job security as possible, and this could be the offseason that he's let go, or right before they made an announcement they're going to keep him. Everything I've heard, and this is something I can speak on, is that he's still believed in in that front office in metropolitan New York City, despite what the rest of the country perceives or what they think they know. All I've been told is he's going to be fine for a while. Not a while, but he's got to produce. But barring an absolute slide, I think he's going to be okay. Now, let me ask you this, Matt. Aaron Glenn, barring an 0-16 season, do you think that they move on from him? Is there any shot they move on from him
after 1 year?
No way, right?
I don't think that there's any way possible other than an 0-16 season with that team. I mean, but we'll definitely see, because that defense should be much improved this year.
That has been their calling card for a couple years, but unfortunately, that it's very busy when you call that number.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing with Aaron Glenn is, that we talked to Kentley Platty last week, and he said that they just didn't know what the defense was, but it worked. So I mean, for them to go into this draft and I really think that the Jets did get a good one in Aaron Glenn. I mean, from all his playing time, his coaching with the Lions and all the way up the ranks. I mean, he's done everything, and that's how he got a head coaching job, is he's done everything the right way throughout his career, player and coach. So I think that there's no way possible that he go, because I think the Jets have a good one.
And to spend a little bit more time on the AFC East, Matt, I do have to ask you, not necessarily player-wise, but I'd like to go through each AFC East team, starting and finishing up with our conversation right now with the Jets. Where do you think the Jets are going to target in their draft? I know you know a little bit about their needs and wants. Do you think they go offense, defense?
Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State.
Penn State, yeah. All right. Well, typically, Penn State graduates in metropolitan New York City do well, and then they fumble the bag there. What makes you a top consideration for that selection for the Jets? What makes that the best one in your mind?
Because they need to get the outlet for whoever the quarterback is for them.
Nice.
I mean, I'm not trying to be like, the John Madden, play John Madden here or anything like that, but he needs to have, the quarterback needs to have an outlet. And
I love how you like the quarterback.
Even before Dalton Kincaid, the Bills, Josh Allen had Dawson Knox, who was a reliable target for him out of the backfield, or a Khalil Shakir to go with him, or when he was down on the depth chart a little bit further behind Diggs and Davis, and the quarterback needs that outlet that's going to be reliably open, and Tyler Warren seems to catch everything that comes his way. He's a big kid, and he's pretty fast himself.
Yeah, he's played some real big competition and real big games. Nothing more fiery than than Penn State Stadium. Moving on right now to the team down south, the Miami Dolphins. Where do you see them selecting offense or defense, and what player or player group in position do you think they'll sign?
Real quick, I just want to Tyler Warren, 6'6", 260 pounds is what he's listed at. And I was looking to see if I could find his RAS real quickly, but it's not pulling up here right now. So you want to move on to the Dolphins.
The team down south. They had some. We had a reacquisition with Trey White. Great to have him back. We touched on it a little bit through the tweets this week. They're trying to move on from one Jalen Ramsey. Is that a position group that you see them possibly targeting in the first round, or do you think
I don't know how they can move on from Jalen Ramsey, honestly, with the contract that he had? Spot Track just put it out a couple days ago, and it's almost immovable. But I mean, we've seen crazier things happen. We saw Brandon Bean get rid of Stephon Diggs and take that entire eat that cap hit last year. So, I mean, it's something that I just, I mean, I don't know. I'm just
do not put that comment up.
I'm not. I'm not.
I have no idea who
that
that person is.
Yeah. But honestly, that's really what it comes down to for the Dolphins. Is I think that they need more help on the offensive line than anything else. But the problem there is you're going to have two of the top tackles go before they even have a chance to pick in Membu and Campbell. I personally think, and we'll get to the
that is an outrageous comment. I cannot stop staring at that. Yo, Victoria, very cool, very cool.
With the
don't even put it up. It's just, oh man, that's not for us. It's not for you. For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollo's, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs. Yeah. So definitely thank you to all of our sponsors. I mean, both Student and I are now in a better mindset after coming out of the sponsor video. But no, to finish up with the Dolphins, I really think that they need to try and find a way to get one of the top two tackles in this draft. Whether that they do trade up into the top 10, I think they have the 13th pick this year, 13th or 14th. I'd have to look it up. But I really don't know. To be honest with you,
I mean, I think Sundays down south are that's a frustrating team to watch right now. It seems just like a lot of off field just drama and stuff like that. It was such a destination point for free agents like OBJ. They thought it was great. They got Ramsey. They're sometimes staunch believers in Tua or not. I think probably this is going to be the most divisive season to be a Dolphins fan. But moving on to the last one in the grouping, one New England Patriots, who did take a pretty prolific passing in Drake May. What are you thinking there? Do you think they finally their compliment to a guy who probably is he couldn't be prolific. He made some plays. He was a rookie last year. Matt, where do you think they will be heading this year in terms of their outlook?
Honestly, I have them taking Membu, the tackle. So with that being said, I have them taking him to protect Drake May's blind side. And continue to improve that offensive line. They added Stephon Diggs. I honestly think they're going to end up second in the division. I think the Bills split with them this year. I know they did last year too, but I mean, it just with the Patriots, it's tough because now they have Mike Vrabel, so we don't know what they're going to look like. They should be getting Christian Barmore, barring any setbacks for him to coming back. So I mean, it just really with they just need to put that guy in that tackle in place, and they're picking fourth overall. Now that's not to say Travis Hunter doesn't fall to them.
No way.
If he does fall to them, I could see.
In what world? If they go up and get Travis Hunter, they have to go up and get him. They're not gonna. It's not gonna. A prolific. Stop it. A prolific player like that doesn't fall in your lap. What's the last player that fell into your lap that is rated this highly?
What I'm saying though is look at it. If
Titans
are not taking anybody but a quarterback, they're taking Cam Ward. If the Cleveland Browns decide,
I don't see that working.
I don't either. But if the Cleveland Browns,
right?
If the Cleveland Browns take, let's say, Abdul Carter or Shedeur Sanders, instead of taking Travis Hunter, because they don't have a quarterback. They just signed got another year from Joe Flacco after he went and spent a year in Indianapolis. So instead of taking somebody like a Travis Hunter that they could have play both ways, and they take Abdul Carter when they already have Myles Garrett on the other side, and just sign him to the most lucrative contract, non-quarterback contract.
I thought he was out.
So did I, but I mean, when you pay him $40 million a year, I mean, I'd probably
just when I thought I was out, they sucked me. They pulled me back in.
But no, you have Abdul Carter potentially going there, and then what if the Giants now Shedeur Sanders is sitting in their lap if the Cleveland Browns take Abdul Carter, that puts Travis Hunter at 4, and he just
yeah, totally, dude. That's definitely what's gonna happen. No way.
I'm just saying. I mean, there are scenarios where that does happen. I don't want to see it happen. I'd rather see him in the NFC. To be honest with you, I'd love to see the Giants take him and see what Daboll can do, and then have him move back up in the end of the first round and take either Jackson Dart or Jalen Milroe. I personally that's a great thing. You get Travis Hunter at 3, and then either Dart or Milroe at the end of the first round. He can walk out of that draft with his head held high, and end the draft there for themselves. Here's
a question that's a little. You bring up Shedeur Sanders, you bring up Travis Hunter. Did you see what happened out in Boulder, Colorado this past week?
Bullshit.
Talk to him, West Side. What happened out in Colorado this week? I thought there is nothing more, no bigger clear point of nepotism, and
they decided
it was just ridiculous.
They decided to retire both Hunters and
who's they?
Let's
Deion
Sanders decided to.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
Deion
Sanders decided to retire his sons and Travis Hunter's number,
who are not the same player.
No, but here's the thing.
I mean, when Shiloh go into the rafters?
But here's the thing. He also said, we're not retiring any old players' numbers now. The best quarterback to ever come out of Colorado is Cordell Stewart.
Clearly,
I mean, Rashawn Salam's one of the best running backs to ever come out of Colorado.
And
why are we doing this?
Oh, it's not we.
No, I know, but why
is this happening?
Yes.
Well, we know why it's happening, and the reason I bring this up is while he is the head coach. This is typical far-reaching and overreaching behavior from Deion Sanders. Do you think he's kind of meddling with his big body personality and clearly with his influence about where Shedeur could land? Do you think he's operating as an agent of voice in that release that Travis Hunter will not play for anyone that just wants him in one specific position, which is probably kind of an unprecedented demand.
We all saw how it played out with like Eli Manning, him basically saying I would not play for San Diego.
That was his dad. That was his dad too, right?
Forced his way out, and forced his way out onto the Giants. Both teams got a quarterback. Both teams got a good quarterback out of it. So, with that being said, he didn't
do it with Peyton though. Right?
I don't see. No, they didn't.
Well, because Peyton and it was Ryan Leaf and Peyton. Yeah,
Ryan Leaf and Peyton. One went to the Colts. One went to the Chargers. Yeah. So, but when it comes down to it,
one went in the hall and the other
the other one fell. But no, I just don't like. Because Deion Sanders, he did the same thing. We all saw the 30 for 30 or the football life or whatever it was. And, when he said that he literally went into meetings with teams and said, hey, I'm not going to be there for you to pick me. He's not doing that.
But he also used that as a move. He goes, I'll play baseball.
Correct.
I think you have more agency of voice here, where he does love that move, this or that. Oh, I'll play baseball. Where it's This one's like, I'm not just going to play one thing. There's always some.
But what I was going to say is, I think he did learn a little bit from himself in doing that. Because he's come out and said that his son is going to play whoever takes him.
He also opened up like the insane, I guess it was a one-sided conversation that he wanted to continue coaching his son. Like, I guess, but what team? I mean, do you think that move flies with the fucking one Bills drive? Absolutely not.
No, but the Bills aren't in a spot to be able to take him either, Shedeur Sanders or anything like that. Even if why would they?
Because you're correct, because I believe the culture and the identity of the Bills and the people that we structure this team around, right up to the coaches, it's just an unnecessary thing. But for a team that's needs to leach to an identity, maybe there's a new ownership group or a young head coach who's you think that's the game's going that way. I just don't think that's a very positive way to, move the game that way.
Right. And you're 100% correct. That's not the way that we, continue to move the game forward. And that's why I said he came out and after everybody's like, oh, he's trying to, position his son into the best way to, in his best spot and everything like that. And he came out and flat out said, no, like, I'm not doing that. My son is going to play for whoever takes him. I think this is a completely different situation than Eli Manning. I think this is a completely different situation than himself, because I think he did learn that, it might cost you some money in the end, or you might go to, might be looked at a different way.
I was going to say it could cost you more money and the draft position just by having a conversation opposite of this one, right? Because you get labeled, labeled a diva before you've even, laced up
entered
your cleats.
The league,
yeah, exactly. Once again, you are listening to the Third Management Podcast. I am Student Body Right. You can find me at Twitter and at Student Body RGHT. My partner, who is actually sitting down but is more upright than I am, is Matt Diegert. You can find him on Twitter at mattdiegert.com. We are going to be live for the NFL Draft 2025. We will be live on Thursday with a great board of guests. It's a long night. We'd be honored if you shared it with this kickback and find the direction of which the team we all root for and cry for, the Buffalo Bills, will be selecting. One of the guys we did cry for, though, Matt, kind of when he left, was a guy who returned this week.
And before we touch on that,
I was great. How did you? Oh my God, you dropped the ball on that. That was a great segue.
It was a great segue,
and you fucking ruined it.
But
what do you want to talk about?
Shut up. No, but speaking of the draft night, we are actually have a giveaway with the other cornerback on the Buffalo Bills, Christian Benford.
Yep.
Signed COA jersey of Christian Benford. We are going to give that out, so definitely check out at Do Champions if you are not following.
Contest rules all apply.
Contest rules all apply. But the other nice thing too is if you help us get to 500 subscribers on YouTube as well by the night of the draft, we will also be doing another giveaway as well
with Mr. Alec Anderson. Yep.
Yes.
Well, so we got another signed ball from him. By the way, if you are watching on YouTube and you were unfortunately privy to some of those comments, we are not TMZ. We don't know any of that information. We'll not be acknowledging any of that information. And I would just like to say, it's a football show. That is nothing to do with us.
Don't really care.
Yeah. Really, wait, real quick. Don't care.
Yes.
So, and moving back to the perfect segue, something I do care about. You see, I'm going to tailor this one because you ruined the last one. So one of the things I do care about is talking about the return of number 27, Trey White. He was a first round selection years back. He just completed a short trip a little south of us of the Baltimore Ravens. Matt, you heard the news. I immediately called you. You got the graphic out quick. What? I didn't. That was on your radar. That was not on mine, but it was on your radar. What was your knee-jerk reaction? And now a couple days removed, how do you feel about it now?
Honestly, I love it because they're not bringing him to start. They're not bringing him in to start. they're bringing him in to play
To be a Buffalo Bill.
probably cornerback 2 to start the year, depending on if they do draft a rookie, which it seems like they're going to. It feels like if the rookie can't beat him out, he's going to minimum be cornerback 2, but he's probably going to be slotted into a CB3, CB4 type role. And also kind of, be that little bit of a mentor for that rookie, and how the team, and it's nice too because he knows Sean McDermott's system. I mean, they wanted to bring in James Bradbury. Sure,
we also wanted to bring in James Bradbury. I feel like a couple of years ago too. They
did, and it just I feel like they it came down to it, and I wonder if there was like a hey, Trey White said yes, Bradbury said yes, but Trey knows our system a little bit more. I don't know how that works. When we talk to Matt Close, we do know those type of things happen.
Yep.
But to me, I think Trey White is a better fit here. I think he, unfortunately had the multiple injuries, had the mentality,
the setback,
the setbacks with the mentality stuff.
It's nice to know that this largely a lot of that staff was there for when he did struggle mentally to get back on the field. It's nice to know a lot of that staff has still been retained, and that locker room does remain largely intact. So I think they went into it, they waited, unfortunately, why he left, and they felt more confident, or at least more hopeful that he could be a productive person. The one thing I would like to personally dispel that I think is absolute hogwash is that it's a 1-year prove it deal. The fuck does that guy have to prove?
Not a thing.
It is at the low end. It's a good culture, non-expensive depth signing, and at the insane end is seeing that number and saying it's a prove it deal for another one. Hey, we hope that we get a great player commiserate of that money. There's the thought, I think, that he's going to return to all pro form is not on anybody's mind.
And here's the thing.
I think you're crazy to call it a prove it deal.
Yeah.
Maybe prove it. Maybe you need to prove to your followers that they shouldn't unfollow you if you keep tweeting things like that.
But no, with that being said, I understand where it comes from, but I completely wholeheartedly disagree with that premise that it's on a prove it deal, because I hope to God that he earns every penny of that $6.8 million, because I'm sure there's probably close to $4 million worth of incentives in there. And if he hits every single one of those, I'm sure the Bills are in the Super Bowl in some way, shape, or form.
Correct. That is, it's almost like prove it to himself, or, that there's still life left in those legs in that career, and he can play still some really good football for the Bills. But they're not giving him a 1 to set up a multi-year prove it later. That is crazy. Anyway, I'm not going to get fired up.
No,
I'm laying down. I should have kept it more casual.
Yeah. But, when it comes down to it, he's only he's only 30 years old still. And at the end of
how old's Jalen?
Jalen Ramsey?
29. He's been on a lot of teams, man.
Can you name the teams?
Yeah. I can name the Dolphins. I can name the Rams. I can name there's another one.
The team that drafted him.
Jacksonville.
There you go. And
yeah, suck it.
Can you give me his record against Josh Allen?
No, I don't really care about that. I think he's learned his lesson.
Because we always talk about it. We always talk about it. Patrick Mahomes does not play Josh Allen.
Correct.
Jalen Ramsey plays Josh Allen, and he is 0-3.
Yes,
he is 0-3.
It was pretty cinematic that first drive against the Rams when he just went like Roger Staubach mode. I don't know if anybody knows the story. Roger Staubach used to he used to close out every fan letter with throw it deep, always. Roger Staubach. Yep. He went yard out of him so quick in that game, and I think that was like his shot, little boy.
Yeah.
But I just love the signing. I love that Trey's back. I think there was some sadness when he did leave. I certainly did not think the door was propped open for him, but I think, it was one of those things where, hey, if you want to come in and have a talk, and it ended up making sense. Matt, what do you think? Do you think it was propped open, or do you think it was come in and have a talk if you want?
I think doors are always left open for previous Buffalo Bills, because we've heard it multiple different times from multiple different people. We're not gonna mention names on this podcast or anything like that. Eric would no. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, we've heard it from multiple different people that Brandon Beane leaves the door open for these players to come back, whether it's the same year.
As long the door is open, as long as you leave the home better than you found it, which I think Trey did.
Yeah,
that was a good analogy, actually.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, we don't know what happened in negotiation last year. They could have tried to bring his number down. It didn't work, so the Bills chose to use to take the I can't remember the exact number, but it was over like $10 million in cap space.
Yeah.
On June 1st, rather than redo his deal, rework his deal, and bring that down and pay him. Also,
it's hard. It's hard to negotiate because after that Achilles injury, he never did play for the Bills later for that season. Again, it's hard to negotiate the term life of an ending contract to renew it. When there's so much uncertainty as to how he's going to respond to his second pretty traumatic lower body injury. Matt, to round out kind of the draft and what we're thinking, anyone sneaky that is largely getting non-first round grades that you think sneaks up just because he fits a team the best?
Honestly,
I know it's a tough question.
It is a tough question. I mean, because you see it every year. There's somebody that just gets picked out of nowhere, or
falls out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, that too. Like,
there's like some duality there, yeah.
Right, like we thought back in whatever year it was, 2008, I think it was. Aaron Rodgers was supposed to go first overall, didn't go to 24.
Yeah.
To the Green Bay Packers.
And then you saw Josh Rosen making 9 teams in front of him pay the price.
They paid him, or he paid them,
but I don't know.
But no, like, in all seriousness, I mean, I don't see anybody that's like super like, hey, this guy isn't on the radar, let's go get him. Like, I don't see any of those type of guys this year. I don't expect anything like that to happen this year, but you never know. I mean, some teams, put their boards together differently than put their boards together differently than other teams. So I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, until Thursday.
I do want to, as we kind of close the show out just a little bit, I do want to leave it open to any dumb rumors of the week that you've heard. Anything exemplary?
No.
I think, I would just, as a PSA, and I say this all the time, that if someone is telling you that they're somehow privy to one of the most guarded times, Matt, of the season, the most guarded conversations, right? Because certain teams don't want to know that you're calling other teams, but every team's calling every team, and their big board is such a huge time commitment, a resource-intensive commitment. If someone is telling you right now, non-accredited or anything like that, and even just be wary of the accredited, that they know what's happening in the draft room, be wary. And that is my dumb rumor of the week, but good advice of the week. Just be wary of anything like that, Matt.
Also vet people on Twitter too, because
don't listen to me.
That too, but no, but in all seriousness, I mean, don't
be wary.
Vet people on Twitter, because whether it's a Schefter account with a misplaced C, or and still they pay for the stupid check mark, or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I pay for it. I'm not going to sit here. I think it's stupid. I think that it's dumb that we have to. I got
verified. I got asked to be verified on Instagram. That was that. Hey, whoever owns that, what is that? Zuckerberg?
I have no idea. I think it's Meta.
Yeah, you don't need to do it.
But I really think that everybody just needs to just pay attention, because I mean, what's the famous rule on Twitter? If you
measure once, cut twice.
If you share a non-vetted person or a tweet or anything, you got to log off the internet for the day.
Yeah, I got to still log on for today. I'm getting real comfy on this couch. Anyway, you've been listening to the Third Manageable Podcast. I am Student Body Right. Find me on Twitter at Student Body RGHT with the blue check mark and a black heart. My partner at Matt Diegert. Coming to you live on Thursday night. It's a great show. We'd like to thank all our anticipated guests. Matt, pay a little bit of the bills real quick before we go, and let's watch the rest of this hockey game, man.
Yeah, we'll touch on who we have coming up and everything else. So thank you to our sponsors.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollo's, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs. All right. And again, thank you to all of our sponsors that we have. Definitely check us out on Thursday night for the draft show. We are going to have a very large lineup for everybody. And, we are very excited this year to bring it to you live. Last year was our first stream. That was our Do Champions first stream. Long 2 days in a row. We did it for 8 hours. We do have somebody each night different running it. We got myself and Student Body Right doing Thursday. We're still trying to finalize who's doing it Friday. It'll probably end up just being me, but know, but then after the pain of last year, bro, I don't know if I could do that again. I was sitting there playing guitar, I was contemplating buying a saxophone. It's just such a long it really
day.
It really is. But I mean, but then on Saturday,
for the pure football lover, it doesn't really matter, I guess, for the Bills because of half of Twitter, Brandon Beane falls asleep in the second round. He's not right. He's not even there.
Day 3.
Dude,
don't watch till day 3.
Actually, you know what? I'd like to announce it now. We have Brandon Beane. Actually, I'm just kidding. Please, Derek, don't do anything.
But no, in all seriousness, we have myself and Student Body Right. We'll let everybody know for Friday. We're on Thursday. The Almighty Whittle is on Saturday doing round 3 through 7.
That's the one to tune in.
That's going to be the one. That's going to be the one that's the most fun. I always enjoy the end of the draft
because it's so it is so. Especially for guys that they really watch a ton of film and really like yourself who studies most. The draft has never been my steez. Matt knows that. I'm a lover of what I know and just I find it an overwhelming undertaking. Well, how did that not go in? It went in.
It did go in. Guy just got tripped and the puck went off of him.
So if anybody listened on Sunday, it is 1-0 Colorado. Maybe that is why they're Matt's pick to win the cup. But as I was saying before, in the later round, Matt, not necessarily calling that small school prospect, but there is a type of fun and excitement for that player, especially if you're on them early. They're from a small school, not many men know about, and they end up getting drafted. And the UDFAs are fun.
The UDFAs are always fun. Definitely make sure if you're not following, make sure you're following Ryan Talbot at Ryan Talbot Bills.
As well as at Whittle 2K.
Well, that's for separate, but I'm saying for the UDFAs, he has them first. He has the list. He always puts it out every single year. He always has everything, and he puts it in a nice little format for everybody to know who the Bills are rounding out the roster with the end of the draft.
Yeah, he's very good with FCS as well. Hey, FCS guys do matter. That's why we got a Spencer Brown. That's why we got a Chris Benford, and that's why we report on this. You've been listening to the Third Manageable Podcast, Yeah, you remember hey, Matt, go to
Third
be
Manageable Podcast tomorrow night. We have on Buffalo Blueprint. We have on Wednesday night. We have on Coast to Coast with the Almighty Whittle and Beyond 716. We typically will have on Thursday nights Chasing Data, but we have the draft show. And then on Friday, after whoever is on the Friday draft coverage gets offline, stay tuned for Pat Bruckness doing Friday Night Lights as he wraps up the draft while he's playing some Madden and some MLB 2K
and some NCAA.
NCAA. So definitely check out for that. And then myself and Beyond 716 Saturday mornings for the Hockey Hotline, and then right back here Saturday night for Third Manageable Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Matt Diegert.
I have anxiety.
And that's Student Body Right.
Good to talk to you. Hey, Matt.
Good to be seen.
Good to be seen, baby. Peace. I'm sleepy.